Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep.
What is going on, everybody? I am back, and it's time to make a video for you guys because I haven't done this Tigers video since they signed Justin Upton. And let's see, I completely missed out on spring training predictions. I completely missed out on spring training thoughts. And I completely missed out on a lot of things. And here's why. Anyone that's watched my channel for the last, how long have I been doing this? Since 2010, I think I've been doing this since? Yeah, somewhere in there. I'm normally right on the ball with all this stuff, and I usually can't wait. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Right now, I'm at a point in my life where you look at the last 4 years, 5 years of my life, I never really had a lot going on at certain points. Yeah, I've experienced a lot of things, had a lot of problems, and, dealt with stuff. But I always had time for baseball. I love the Tigers. It's still one of my loves. I'll never not like the sport. But I want to be flat out honest with you guys. I've stopped writing about baseball. I've stopped listening to MLB Network Radio. I've only listened to not even 5 innings of spring training so far. I have not had the goddamn time to sit here and be anal as all hell about everything that's going on with the Tigers. One, because my job is stressful as shit. I don't have time to, while I'm trying to get work done at work, to sit here and check on everything Tigers. I'm sorry, it's the least of my worries. 2, I just recently got a new car. I'll see if I can get a picture of it, see if I can pan it over the screen right here. If not, this looks very awkward. So I've been driving that thing around, enjoying that. 3, I've had a hell of a lot of other things on my plate to worry about. So, this upcoming season, if you guys want to unsubscribe, it is what it is. If I make a video a week, a video every 2 weeks, that's going to be all it's going to be. Just for me to come on here. Because I still fully plan on, when the season comes, you bet your ass, 4 out of the 7 days of the week, maybe there might be a couple, because I used to be committed to watch 162. I used to watch 300 some games, 400 some games a year. I'll probably watch 4 out of 7 Tiger games a week if it's a full week. Obviously, there's always an off day somewhere sprinkled in there. But I don't have the time to commit to 162. I don't have the time to commit to come on here and make a video every week. I have no fucking idea how one goddamn time I was coming on here every 3rd day making a fucking series preview video and talking about the other series. I just don't have the goddamn time anymore to do this. So, and I really don't have the passion anymore to do this. The reason why I'm doing this right now is because it's 7:30 on a Saturday, and I'm bored as shit. And I kind of feel like coming on here talking some baseball, because, I'm not trying to sit here and say I dislike the sport anymore. And as you can see, my walls are pretty goddamn barren, because I sold just about every one of my autographs, because I don't care about this shit anymore. It's just, I have a lot of shit going on, and it's just like, I don't have time for this stuff anymore. But, nonetheless, me being a buzzkill, let's talk some Tigers. Yeah, here we go. So, the Tigers are currently 3-3 in spring training. And let's see how it starts off. Cameron Maybin's off 4 to 6 weeks. Anthony Ghost doesn't believe in defensive analytics. And Anibal Sanchez is suffering from the same thing that Justin Verlander suffered with. So, where to begin? Let's start with Anthony Ghost. Anthony Ghost doesn't believe in analytics because he says they're a sham. You know why you think they're a sham, Anthony Ghost? Because you're a shitty center fielder. I'm sorry. This guy has a rocket of an arm. And I've watched this guy too. I went to a bunch of Tiger games last year, and this is a guy that can underhand flip a ball. I'm not even bullshitting you guys. He's not stepping into the ball. He's not striding into the ball how you normally throw a baseball. This dude is legit throwing like this, and the ball is going farther than if I had, a running start plus a leaping throw. Because he's got that much arm strength. I've watched him throw a ball out of Comerica Park midway center field. The guy has a rocket of an arm. That being said, he makes a couple of good plays. I can think of one play in particular last year. It was Justin Verlander's first start. Who did he pitch against? I want to say it was the Cleveland Indians, and it was June 12th. And first inning, Verlander's pitching, Goth makes this great catch diving backwards, and it was an outstanding play. But for the guy who has as much speed as he does, for the kind of arm he possesses, he doesn't take good routes to the baseball. He's not, he dives at balls he shouldn't dive at sometimes. For a guy who has as much speed, he doesn't chase down that many balls in the gap. He's not that good of a defensive outfielder. So, of course, a guy who's not that good defensively is going to come out and say analytics that have rated him poorly for just his entire career are a sham. Well, how about this, buddy? Let's look at regular batting averages. You're a guy that can't hit left-handed hitting, pitching barely at a 200 fucking clip. You're going to tell me average, which is one of the oldest statistics in the book, is the sham of a stat? That you can't hit a fucking left-hander? How about that, Anthony Gose? Put that one on your plate. Of course you're going to sit there and dog analytics. I'm sorry. You're not a good outfielder. I don't care how good you think you are. You're not a good outfielder. I hate to break it to you, buddy. And then losing Cameron Maybin, speaking in the outfield. Maybin traditionally, we're talking about analytics, is always graded out as a plus defender. Last year he didn't have a good year defensively. I think it was a blip. This guy's young, he's sub 30. He's had as high as 15 runs defensive saved in the season before. This is a guy that knows how to field. Now to lose him for 4 to 6 weeks, where, now there's going to be no platoon in the outfield. You're going to have to run JD, Gose, and Upton out there every single day. I like having Maybin as that backup guy, especially considering Maybin, had a decent on base last year. He was an okay hitter, and he's a guy that's better defensively, and it's going to be a blow. So, he's only going to miss the first couple weeks of the season, but, it's now he's going to come back into the season. No spring training bats at all, hardly. And who knows how it affects offense. And it does affect offense first. There's been plenty of guys that come about with no spring training, and it takes them of 3 to 4 weeks of subpar production, and then they're not useful for your team because they're having spring training bats, early in the season because they're trying to catch up. So, that's a bit of a blow. And, I think it's laughable, Gose's comments, and it sucks that we already take a blow like that to have Anthony Gose. Now, the Tigers have actually, let's get on first. Let's stay on injuries here for a second. Anibal Sanchez. He is such a big factor in this rotation coming in this year because you don't know what Verlander's going to do. I know. I want to believe in Verlander. For fuck's sake, my channel was Justin Verlander 35 for 4 fucking years. He's my favorite player ever on the Tigers. I've loved him since 2005, his first start against Cleveland at Jacobs Field. But he's 32. He's a guy that's had, injury problems the last couple of years in a row. It's his first year he's coming in healthy. He says he feels great. His first out, he looked good in his first 2 innings. But it sees so much uncertainty. And then you got Jordan Zimmerman, who looked good in his first start today against his former squad. But Anibal Sanchez is huge because that back end of your rotation is very, very up in the air. Pelfrey in his debut, I think he pitched against, wasn't the Pirates, it might have been the Yankees, I can't remember. It was against the Yankees because Brian Holiday hit a grand slam, and the Tigers ended up losing that game because some 9th outfielder dropped the ball in the outfield, and the Tigers blew a game where they had a 5-run lead. Anyways, to have Sanchez already hurt, and then, the Tigers are playing the same card they played with Verlander. Oh, it's not serious. It's early in spring. You'll be fine. Blah, blah, blah. Verlander came out last year, looked good. He throws one pitch, feels a couple of pitches against the Blue Jays last spring camp. Says, I'll be all right for opening day. I plan on making my start. And look what happens. He doesn't come back till June. And Sanchez, a guy last year, had shoulder problems again last year. He had shoulder problems the year before that where he missed some starts. He had shoulder inflammation when the Tigers traded for him. And this is a guy that's, he can't stay healthy. And now he's going to start the year with this tricep thing. And, if he comes out and dogs it for a little while for the first, couple of starts, now he's got an excuse to go on. And it's just like, I can't wait for that contract to be over with. Sanchez, when he first came over from the Marlins, I can perfectly remember he was terrible his first couple of starts. Then his last 7, he was absolutely outstanding. And then the postseason run, he was fucking phenomenal. That's what netted the Tigers to sign with that 5-year deal because I remember he was close to signing with the Cubs. And then the Tigers jumped the Cubs offer, offered him $5.75, and he took it. And he pitched great his first year. He was the ERA leader in the American League. But the last couple of years, he had more home runs given up at his first 3 starts that he had in his entire season the year before. And then he had injuries again. And I mean, it's just like this guy who is such a crucial piece to your rotation success, already hurt, coming in, and the Tigers playing that bullshit card they played with Verlander, you just don't know. And a guy with already injury past, it's very uneasy. Excuse me. And it makes me nervous. And, the bullpen looks a lot better so far this year. And, the names are at least a lot better. But the rotation, I mean, it's very up in the air. And when I still was writing baseball articles, this was one of the last articles I wrote. I was talking about, Avila's offseason grade. That I gave him a C for the rotation because, he did so much to add to the pen. He did so much to add to the positional depth that we needed. And, there were so many other options out there. And Mike fucking Pelfrey was his answer. When you need arms, when you lost Scherzer, when you traded away Fister, you don't have Porcello anymore, and you got so much youth in Norris and Boyd and Green and Fulmer, Kyle Ryan, Buck Farmer, you got guys in this, the system like Kevin Zalmack, guys sitting down there. You really only got 2 spots up at the top. I mean, you needed a third starter that's going to be a guy that can at least pitch you to the high to mid threes and give you 180 innings. And, Pelfrey hasn't done that since fucking 2010. And, now Sanchez is already hurt. So it's like, what the fuck? It's a terrible start. Now, the Tigers have actually signed, I'm trying to think of some of the names they've signed. They've signed some veterans. I know Casey McGee was one of the players they went out and signed to a minor league deal. And I actually really, really liked that deal. When he came back over from Japan to the Marlins, he was actually comeback player of the year. And I remember I had him on my fantasy team that year. He came back, and I think he had like 88 or 90 RBIs. It was a machine. And, he's not a great third baseman, but I really like this move. I mean, he's not going to be JD Martinez. I can remember when the Astros released JD out of spring, and I wish I could find the video of when I said it when the Tigers signed him, like, this is a great move. I really like JD Martinez. This could be, something, he's going to be an organizational depth piece, but he could come up and surprise some people, and I was right. Obviously no one expected him to surprise people like he has. I mean, this guy's hit 61 home runs in the last couple of seasons, and he's been great. No one expects that, and obviously Casey McGee's not going to do that. But as organizational depth, and, if Castellanos struggles at all, or, we need some depth, I mean, he could be a nice piece to have just laying around. So far early in spring, Brian Holiday, a guy who wasn't looked upon as someone that was even going to make the roster, is looking like he's trying to play for a job somewhere else, not in AAA. Which should be good, if Brian Holiday comes out and has his breakout camp, because let's face it, Saltamaki is making pennies, and McCann is the guy. He's the stalwart. He's going to be catching. And, if Brian Holiday comes out and has this great spring, I mean, the Tigers traded Steve Lombardozzi, for fucking 9 games of Alex Gonzalez, back in 2014. I'm not saying they're going to get much for Holiday, but, if they could go and get, a flyer bullpen pitcher, or, go out and maybe trade for like a guy that could be a potential 5th starter. You need him for organizational depth so you don't got to dip into your youth. Hey, let's hope Holiday has Ryan Rayburn a la 2012 or 2013. I can't remember what spring it was, but the guy had 9 home runs in spring camp and hits one or two home runs the entire season. He was fucking terrible. So let's hope Holiday has that one of those kind of years. So who knows? So let's go like this. Let's run down position by position and give a little bit of thoughts what I think is going on for spring. Catcher, we just talked about that. McCann's the dude. Salty's the guy. Hopefully Holiday keeps hitting bombs. Miggy Cabrera, I believe, hit his first home run yesterday or today. Kinsler had a bases clearing RBI double against the Yankees. That's so far been his biggest hit so far this spring, and he's looked good so far. And you know what you're going to get with him. Kinsler, I hope, one thing I want to see out of Kinsler this year, I'd like to see him hit about 15 or 16 home runs this year. Get back closer to the 20 home run mark, but keep playing that great defense and keep the on base where it was last year too, because he did a good job last year walking, getting on base. Better than he did the year before. And then you got Iggy Iglesias. Keep doing what he did last year. Keep being a pesky hitter, at the bottom of the lineup because they're going to need him, but he was a guy that was very hard to strike out and he made a lot of contact on the ball. So keep doing what he's doing. So far he's looked okay this spring. And then Castellanos, this is Castellanos' biggest year because this is going to be his third season in the big leagues already, and I can remember hearing his exact words. I remember he was hitting like 450 in Double A before they called him up to Triple A. And I can remember hearing Jonathan Mayo on the top 50 prospect countdown saying this guy has batting title type contact rates. This guy has the sniff 275 for a season average. His on base has been bleh. He strikes out a shit ton. He gets uber pull happy. He doesn't take the ball the other way sometimes when he should. And it's one of his strengths. I mean, he's got a classic inside-out swing. I want to see that power potential we saw in the second half of Cassie last year this year. I want to see him not get so pull happy. I want to see him take less of those huge swings. I want to see him stop swinging at first pitch curveballs because teams know he's uber aggressive and then chase, shitty fastballs high up and in on his hands. Swing at strikes, lay off the first pitch junk because teams know you're aggressive, and look for your fastball because that's what you'd hit. And I'd like to see that at Cassie this year because he has it. I mean, I saw this guy with beautiful hacks the other way. He's got oppo power. He's got gap swings. He's always been a good doubles hitter. He just gets very aggressive on first pitch breaking balls and sometimes takes too big a hacks on his fastballs, which costs him to miss him. So I'd like to see him improve there. Justin Upton hasn't done much so far in camp, but that's all right. We know what you're getting out of J Up. We get a streaky hitter kind of guy. That's just who he is. But when that boy gets hot, there's going to be some balls flying. We already know what's going on with center field. Anthony goes, saying defensive metrics don't matter, blah, blah, blah. Maven's hurt. And then J.D. Mart looking for, that boy's just looking to get paid because the Tigers went and bought out his last 2 arbitration years this past spring. They couldn't agree to a long-term extension. So that boy's just looking to hit home runs for the next couple of years and get paid. And he's going to be gone in the next couple of years. V-Mart. My dude already has 2 bombs this spring. He hit one in the first spring training game, and he hit one the day after. So that's a great sign. That means he's got his legs underneath him, his knees are feeling fine, and I don't know if he hit him left or right-handed, but right-handed last year was just brutal for him. Left-handed wasn't much better. But that means he's got a strong base. It means his power's back and his knees aren't killing him. And the power's looking good. That's what we need. He's not going to hit 31 homers. But if the boy hits 12 to 17 and he gets back Victor Martinez on base with low strikeouts, I'm all for that. What else we got? The bullpen, I don't know much about that, so I can't really inform you guys. I don't know, Frankie. You guys tell me. Has Frankie Rodriguez pitched? How's Lowe look? Has Bruce Rendon? I was speaking of Bruce Rendon. I was watching a video today. It was when Bruce Rendon pitched against the Texas Rangers. And I don't know why I remembered this random game, but there was a game that he pitched against the Texas Rangers in 2013. And he came out through 11 pitches, through 10 pitches, all were strikes, got Kinsler, Beltre, and Nelson Cruz all out. Plus a 4th batter. I forget the 4th batter in the 8th inning. And I could just remember that was the best I've ever saw Bruce Rendon. And this guy was throwing 103 on the inner black. He frees Kinsler with 2 straight sliders because he wasn't expecting him because he saw a 99 up at the hands. And then David Murphy just was absolutely fooled and baffled. It's because, my point is I saw the stuff before. I remember when he came up as a rookie because he was supposed to dethrone Valverde as the closer, but he never did because he had so many issues with his command, and teams were sitting on his fastball because they knew the kid threw hard, and they were just sitting on the fastball, and he didn't really have secondary pitches. But he's shown that he has the stuff, and he's shown that he can flash, has flashes of brilliance of having, the arsenal and repertoire of pitches to get guys out in the big leagues. So to watch this guy sit here and fuck it up, with his attitude and his willingness to learn and listen to his coach, it's sad. Because when you see a guy that throws 103 with a good changeup and a pretty decent slider offering, the fucking potential's there. And to see him fucking piss this away, it just makes me mad because he could be a potential arm. He's supposed to be the closer of the future. I can remember. So I don't know what's going on too much with the bullpen. I don't really know who's pitched. Like I said, guys, I've listened to maybe 4 innings of spring training. This is just from watching MLB Tonight and reading recaps and reading Twitter. That I even know what I do about the Tigers. So like I said, I've been really busy, guys, and you know the frequency of my videos, it's not gonna be like it was in the past. It's just not. I work way too much now. I got so much shit going on, you know. But I felt like I had to come on here and touch base with you guys, you know, because I love all my subscribers. I mean, you guys are the fucking best, man. I get comments on videos from like 6 months ago. People like, I love this video, and you know, you need to make more content. We like listen to you rant about baseball, and get back on here, please, man. And it's like I feel bad because like I got over 500 subscribers now. Like my dumbass, a channel I started 4 years ago. You know, I was like, I'll get 50 subscribers. I just want to rant about the Tigers because I didn't have anyone to talk about baseball with. My dumbass has 500 subscribers, and I got people who I get like the same comment base. So people consistently comment on my videos every time I upload a video talking to me about shit because they're waiting for me to upload content because they like watching it, and it baffles my fucking mind. You know, so it blows my mind, man, that I've come this far with it, and I felt like I owed you guys, you know, some kind of explanation why I haven't been making content and what's just been going on, man. It's just like between my car, between my job, between a lot of other shit. It's just like I don't have time to do this. So I just want to touch base with you guys. I promise. Before spring training ends, I'm going to come on here and give my prediction for the final roster, what I think they're going to do this year. I promise I will come on here and do that. So, just a little bit of Tigers thoughts so far, what's going on early spring, touching base with you guys. And if there's any other videos you guys would like to hear me make about baseball in general, just about the Tigers, about just some of my thoughts, just let me know. And if I can squeeze it in, you know, when I'm bored as shit like now on a Saturday night, just let me know, guys. So, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know. Have a good one, guys.